Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to the Cricket Happening Show. And in this show, your host Ram is going to look at two matches. One is the first day's play in the final test, which is also Ricky Ponting's farewell test in Perth, where Australia on the first day have totally taken the honours. Even though South Africa knocked off 2 wickets for Australia, but Australia were wound up. In fact, South Africa were the ones who won the toss, and they were wound up by the Australian bowlers for 225, and Australia finished at 33 for 2 at close of play on the first day of the final test at the WkTs in Perth. And as far as Bangladesh and West Indies were concerned, well, that is something which has really come as a surprise. After West Indies dominated the first two tests, yesterday they didn't put up a show which was worthy of the West Indies, after being the 2020 World Cup champions. This was a 50-over one-day international, but that doesn't matter. In fact, it was very sad to see West Indies really collapse to 199 all out against Bangladesh, and Bangladesh going home to a very comfortable seven-wicket victory. We'll talk about that. So first, let me start off with the game between Australia and South Africa. As you know, this is Ricky Ponting's farewell test match, but Australia, as I said, on the first day, they have definitely made Ricky Ponting happy by getting the South Africans all out for 225. Australia, this was, as I said, this is the final test, and it was stumps on day one, 225 all out South Africa. Australia, in fact, South African pacers hit back by reducing Australia to 33 for 2 after 11 overs at stumps on day one. Now, just talking about the match here for South Africa, well, things really didn't go in. Let's talk about first the squad for the, as you know, this was a pacey pitch. In fact, Australia put up a very good performance considering the fact there was no Peter Siddle, no Ben Hilfernos, and there was no James Pattinson. Look at the bowling attack they had, but this was the bowling attack which really delivered for South Africa, for Australia. So that really shows there's a lot of reserve talent available in Australia, with Mitchell Starc getting his game and bowling splendidly. In fact, he breached through the defences of Alvaro Peterson, who was clean bowled for 30 with 4 boundaries. Then Jack Scalise, a very important wicket at that, as Jack Scalise was also consumed in similar fashion by Mitchell Starc, getting the ball to Jack back, and Jack Scalise stumps were out of the ground. He was clean bowled for 2. So that was 2 wickets that Mitchell Starc captured, 2 for 55. Hastings made his debut, and well, he made a good debut. He got a wicket, 1 wicket to his name, so he got his first one-day international, first test wicket here. As A.B. de Villiers, such an important wicket it was. A.B. de Villiers was caught by Clark with the bowling of Hastings for 1, and his figures were at 20 overs, 2 maidens, 51 runs, and 1 wicket. Shane Watson coming into the team and really making it count. In fact, he was the one who actually gave them the breakthrough by dismissing Graham Smith, who was caught by Clark with the bowling of Watson for 16, and that was the time the South Africans were 38 for 1 when they started. And Shane Watson's reward was 9 overs, 2 maidens, 22 runs, and 1 wicket. Mitchell Johnson coming back into the test side, really made his experience pay. He was using the short balls very well, and he got 2 wickets. He got the debutant really pushing for cover. In the sense, debutant was really troubled. Dean Elgar made his debut yesterday for South Africa, was absolutely troubled by Johnson, and then one of the short balls, Dean Elgar tried to hook it. He mishooked it, and Wade behind the stumps took the catch, and the bowler was Johnson. So Dean Elgar was out for a duck, and Mitchell Johnson, 17 overs, 3 maidens, 54 runs and 2 wickets. And Nathan Lyon, the off-spinner, taking advantage of the bounce that was there on this particular pitch. In fact, there was signs evident of turn 2 when with a good loop and a good turn and bounce, Nathan Lyon returned figures of 12 overs, 1 maiden, 41 runs and 3 wickets. In fact, he was the one who basically went through the tail. As Robin Peterson came back into the test side, and he was caught behind the bowling of Lyon for 31. Fernand Philander contributed 30, and Morne Morkel these were the wickets that Lyon had, but that doesn't matter. But all these bowlers with their combined efforts here saw to it that South Africa were all out for 225. But it was very sad to see Hashim Amla probably would have liked to play a good innings here, but Hashim Amla was run out for 11 by David Warner with a direct hit. So that was the only wicket which the bowlers didn't take. So the bowlers did a wonderful job, and as I said, Waka pitch in Perth is always helps the bowlers. There was bounce, there was everything in it for the bowlers, and the bowlers definitely took immense advantage out of it. As far as South Africa were concerned, they never really got going. Graham Smith was out for 16. Peterson was bowled a stack for 30 with 4 boundaries. Amla was run out for 11 with 2 boundaries. Callis again bowled a stack for 2. De Villiers out for 4. Dean Elgar on his debut was out for a duck. But Faf du Plessis once again came to the rescue of the South Africans. In fact, the South Africans were reeling at one stage at 75 for 5, and that is the time Faf du Plessis came in and just continued the good work that he did in the first in the debut test that he played. But the experience has made him all the more brighter. And I would have to tell something about Faf du Plessis. By the way he's playing, he's probably, I think he's going to take this place away from JP Duminy, who is not there in the squad. And Faf du Plessis might, I won't be surprised if Faf du Plessis makes this place his own. Well, on a very difficult pitch, I would say, Faf du Plessis made a very attractive, unbeaten 78 with 12 fours. In fact, the only batsman who really gave support to Faf du Plessis was the lower order batsman. Robin Peterson contributed 31 with 3 boundaries. Vernon Philander made 30 with 2 fours and 1 6. And Morne Morkel at the end made 17 of 15 balls with 4 fours. Steen was out for 2. 225 all out for South Africa after winning the toss here at the Waka in Perth. And Australia getting on there. And in fact, Ed Cowan has been really struggling. And Ed Cowan today was caught careless of the bowling of Steen with a ball that bounced, and Cowan was gone for a duck. In fact, that was a ball which actually went in straight, and Cowan got an edge onto it. Callis took the catch. He was gone for a duck. And Shane Watson, well, on his return, well, he started off well with a late cut for a boundary, but Shane Watson was gone, as Shane Watson has this sort of initial movement where he comes forward, and in that forward movement, Philander got a ball to actually come in, and in fact Shane Watson was trapped in line of the stumps. He was gone. LBW bowled Philander for 10 with 1 boundary, and Australia at the time were 18 for 2. But after that there was a lot of time left when Watson left 6th over, and when was probably the Australian crowd was probably waiting for Ricky Ponting to join David Warner, but it was not to be. Nathan Lyon was sent in. I thought that was a very good decision by Michael Clarke to shield Ricky Ponting and have him for the morrow, because as I said, this is his farewell test match, and Ricky Ponting would like to really get more time at the crease. I'm sure he's wanting to do that. Well, David Warner was not out at stumps on 12 with 2 fours. Nathan Lyon was not out on 7, the night watchman, and Australia finished at 33 for 2 after 11 overs at stumps on day 1. But let me tell you, the Australians were really struggling. In fact, all the bowlers bowled very well. Dale Steen, what was very good about the South African bowling was they were absolutely matching the Australian bowlers, because I would say they beat the Australian batsmen. They beat the Australian batsmen outside the stumps. Absolutely, I think there a lot of times the Australian batsmen were beaten, but they survived at 33 for 2. Dale Steen 6 overs 2 maidens 1 for 21. Vernon Philander 4 overs for 8 runs and a wicket. Morne Morkel bowled 1 over, which was a maiden. So I think we have a good game of cricket coming in as far as the second day is concerned. It all depends on how the Australian batsmen shape up, because there will be dew in the pitch, there will be bounce. The cherry is not so old, it's only 11 years old, and I'm sure they would really South Africans would be wanting to have the new cherry and go at Australia hard today in the first session and get some wickets. Well, I'm turning the attention here as far as the Waka Perth is concerned. I get on to the one-day international series which kicked off yesterday at the Sheikh Abu Nasser Stadium in Khulna. I think the Sheikh Abu Nasser Stadium in Khulna looks pretty good. It looks a pretty picture, but West Indies didn't have a pretty picture, I would say, because as you know, Darren Sammy made a statement saying that he would like to take the series 5-0. Well, West Indies have already failed at the first hurdle. In fact, West Indies were all out for 199 today. In fact, this was the first one-day international of the 5-match series. West Indies won the toss and chose to bat. and I would say West Indies, I would blame the West Indies for their own demise in this innings. There were 199 all out. This was the Bangladesh spinners who really bowled splendidly, especially Sohaga Gazi. The right arm spinner continued to be impressive. He did well in the test matches. Started off well with a 9-wicket bag and becoming the first debutant to do so for Bangladesh, and well also in his one-day international, on his first debut one-day international, Sohaga Gazi returned figures of 9.5 overs, 2 maidens, 29 runs and 4 wickets, and also on debut getting the man of the match award for Bangladesh. What a splendid bowling. It was ably supported by Abdul Razak, 10 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 39, and then wickets were shared by Mushraf and Murtaza, 9 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 39. He actually picked up the wicket. In fact, he was the one who gave the breakthrough by getting rid of Lendy Simmons, who was LBW for 13 of 25 balls with 2 fours. And then it was Mahmudullah who picked up 1 for 29, none for 17 for Naeem Aslam. He didn't bowl well. And Abu Hassan, as you know, he made a debut century in the test matches. Today with his ball, he was ineffective. 8 overs went for 45. As far as West Indies were concerned, Chris Gayle, he really showed his attacking class by slamming 35 or 40 balls, 4 fours and 2 sixes. Sohaga Gazi, always likes Chris Gayle's wicket, and today too Chris Gayle was tempted to hit out in the deep, and he was caught. And let me another good thing about Sohaga Gazi is he's not afraid to flight the ball. That is the reason it has been fetching him a lot of wickets, and he looks to be a very talented bowler. Darren Bravo played some sweet little strokes in his score of 35, 41 balls, 4 fours and 1 6. He was unfortunately run out, but other than that, the West Indies batsmen couldn't get any hold on the Bangladeshi bowlers. Kieron Pollard went for attacking stroke. He was caught at mid-wicket by Mahmudullah of the bowling of Gazi for naught. Devon Thomas made 16 of 33 balls with 1 4, again a victim of Gazi. Darren Sammy contributed 10 of 17 with 1 4, and after that, the only support that they got at one stage, the West Indies score was reading 133 for 8, and the reason that they finished at 199 was thanks to Sunil Narine and Rampal pushing the score on to the 190 mark, with Rampal playing some attacking strokes on his knock of 25 of 35 balls, 3 fours and 1 6. Sunil Narine contributing the highest score for West Indies in this particular innings of 36. He was the last man out, made 36 of 45 balls with 3 fours, again a victim of Gazi. Kemar Roche not out on 3, 199 all out. Not a good performance by West Indies at all. In fact, West Indies, I would say, they threw caution to the winds and tried to play their strokes, and that's the precise reason they faltered. But probably that was a sign of overconfidence. One does not know. But probably they would have stayed at the crease and had a good look at the bowlers to really get. But probably overconfidence was something which has done the West Indies in. But for Bangladesh, well, they would be very happy with this, because they have taken a 1-0 lead in the tournament now. As far as Bangladesh were concerned, for them, it all started. Tamim Iqbal was the hero of the match. In fact, Sohaga Gazi got the man of the match, but Tamim Iqbal was the one who gave them the attacking start. In fact, Tamim Iqbal, along with Anamul Haq, who was actually making his debut. In fact, they had 4 persons who actually make their debut in these one-day internationals: Abu Hassan, Anamul Haq, Mominul Haq, and Sohaga Gazi. We definitely had a look at Anamul Haq, who was not, I wouldn't say very confident, but on the other side, it was Tamim Iqbal who was cracking the ball to all parts of the field. In fact, he was also coming down to the seamers, and he was coming down to Kemar Roche and Darren Sammy and hitting them. That was good to see. He smacked some sixes, one of Rampal. He hit Kemar Roche too. In fact, it was an attractive innings from Tamim Iqbal, which gave them a very wonderful start of 88 for the first wicket. With Tamim Iqbal's contribution, 58 of 51 balls, 8 fours and 2 sixes. It was a very daredevil knock from Tamim Iqbal of 58 of 51 balls, as he's known to. Anamul Haq took his time at the crease, but he also contributed 41 of 62 balls with 7 fours as he grew in confidence later on. Naeem Islam, as you know, he's been in some good form in the test matches. He contributed an unbeaten 50, and in fact he hit the winning run to take Bangladesh past the 199 mark, and they got a 7-wicket victory, and they did this in the 41st over with an unbeaten 50 to Naeem Islam of 79 balls with 6 fours. Mushfiqur Rahim, the captain, was not out on 16 of 22 balls with 3 fours. Nasir Hussain made 28 of 29 balls with 4 fours, and Bangladesh were over the line. In fact, they had won the match by 7 wickets in the in the 41st over. Bowling figures, I'm not going to talk much about it very quickly, but I don't have much time on the broadcast. Three wickets each to Sunil, Nareen, Sammy and Russell. That's it from me, your host Ram, for the cricket show for today. See you all tomorrow. Thank you.